So I hear the term woke thrown around a lot, and I have to admit, I don't think we've done a good job at explaining what the term means. Does woke simply mean that we believe black people or gay people shouldn't be in games? Of course not. Black people and gay people have been in tons of celebrated games the past 20 years. So what is woke then? Woke is the forced, inorganic inclusion of certain token minorities and groups in order to score DEI and ESG points. Okay, so how do they pick which token minorities to include and which groups are the quote right ones to include in games? Well, I think they just honestly throw in people they're friends with because they obviously hate white people. The reason why woke has become such a dirty word, though, in the gamer world is because woke directly contrasts historical gamer tropes. Since their creation in the 70s, video games have always been catered towards a male audience. And men since the dawn of time have been obsessed with what? Naked women, war, explosions, guns, and funny jokes. Meanwhile, it is the value of the woke movement that women should never be attractive, war is bad, explosions are bad, guns are bad, and funny humor is bad. So is it any surprise that as soon as a video game gets the woke moniker attached to it, it immediately fails? Woke has become a synonym for this is going to suck, guys. But let me back up for a minute. What did woke originally mean? Woke was originally a term used by African Americans to indicate somebody who was, quote, aware of and actively attentive to important societal facts and issues. But unfortunately, this term does not mean this anymore in the public discourse. Woke today has come to mean the forced, wooden inclusion of token minorities in order to virtue signal or gain some kind of shitty moral high ground. What's interesting right now is almost every male-dominated industry seems to be violently rejecting the woke movement right now, and I think it's because they overplayed their hand and they got involved in the hobbies of men. Let me give you an example of a game that handled the woke thing correctly. Do you think any of us give a single fuck if Life is Strange had gay, trans, bi, or black characters in it? No, because very few guys were playing that game. That game sort of always had the reputation for being gay and woke. So if you're not into that stuff, just stay away from it. And that's fine, and I'm glad that Life is Strange exists for people who are into whatever it's about. But here's what you have to realize about these woke lunatics. It's not enough for them to have their own weird thing for themselves. No, they have to stick their depraved little fingers into your beloved characters as well. They've killed Star Wars. They killed Ghostbusters. They killed the DC Universe. They killed Saints Row. They killed Gears of War. I don't need gay Star Wars. I don't need gay Gears of War. Do that shit on your own time, but don't put it into our beloved franchises. I've heard that the number one way to determine if something is woke or not is to just look at the audience and critic scores of something. If the critic score is like 90 and the audience score is like 30, you've definitely got something woke on your hands. Xbox's recent reveal of the E-Day trailer, which was super masculine, indicated to me that perhaps these companies are starting to wake up and realize you can't feminize and make beloved characters gay anymore. We won't buy it. Another casualty of the woke stuff was this character Yasuke from the new Assassin's Creed game. But where there is smoke, there's fire, and the general populace realized exactly what was going on. The woke mob had rammed a black guy into this game in a completely laughable, wooden, tokenistic way, which had nothing to do with the actual history of the matter. Now you might say, well, Andrew, what about Tom Cruise? You had a white samurai. Well, first off, Tom Cruise's character was actually historical, but secondly, dude, I hated that movie. I had no interest in that movie. And yes, I think it's pretty stupid to have a white guy who just becomes a samurai in Japan. Very stupid movie, very stupid idea, and guilty of all of the same things that Assassin's Creed Shadows is guilty of right now. But again, it's not really about having black people or gay people in games. We've had black and gay people in games forever. Dorian was a hilarious gay character in the Dragon Age games. Lee Everett was the main character of the Walking Dead games, and everybody loved him, and those games won awards. What it's really about is forcing characters into games. Everybody hates this shit. Watch this guy Jay the Concept react to the Assassin's Creed trailer and explain exactly what was wrong with it. Just for context, he is watching the opening footage of the game in which they have Yasuke, our black samurai in the 1600s, killing people to American hip-hop music.
Greed cannot rule this village. Not while I have breath in my lungs and a blade in my hand.
I'm just gonna come out and say it, period. Because I know people are scared to say this shit. I'm not. Liberal white women are the most racist people on the fucking planet. I'm just gonna be real with you. Look at this entire room. What do you see? And what I just showed you in the beginning, how they decided to throw hip hop music for African in a Ubisoft game where he's the only black person in Japan. You're gonna put hip hop music for African as his fight music. This is the type of tone deaf shit when you got a whole bunch of liberal white women in this room who's trying to, I don't know, use us as ESG scores or trying to use us as kind of like a point system. See, we're representing y'all. We put hip hop in there. But you're so fucking stupid you don't realize that you put an African in the game to where hip hop culture is not even their culture. Hip hop is American culture. But you decided to put, oh, since all black people are alike to you, I guarantee you that's the reason what they was thinking. They're like, how can we represent black people when it's a fucking African? I know, hip hop.
So this dude in his critique absolutely nailed it. And I want to focus on one word he said. He said they are using us. And it is sad how many people do not see this. But this is what white liberal women always do. They pander and they virtue signal and they use black people as tokens and points to try to shield themselves against criticism. Oh, how could we be racist? We just put a black samurai in a game. Meanwhile, they are doing the most racist ass depiction of a black person you've ever seen. A black dude in the 1600s and you're playing hip hop music from the 2000s? Really? You French bastards are that racist, huh? But just to zoom out a bit, this gets to the heart of wokeness and why wokeness is not just infecting video games, but has destroyed Star Wars and superhero movies as well. Fat, ugly, blue-haired women who have never seen a gym in their life seem to be dead set on ruining all of the things us heterosexual men love. But here's the great part. None of us are buying this stuff. Their movies are failing and they're going out of business. Just look at Alyssa Marcante, who will likely have her talents taken to truck stop bathrooms when she is inevitably fired from Kotaku. But back to the Yasuke thing, do some more browsing and you will see this sentiment expressed by quite a few black YouTubers. Quote, if you don't like a black samurai, you're just racist. What I want to tell these people is this. Don't you see you're playing exactly into what the white liberal women at Ubisoft want you to say? Ubisoft thinks you can be bought, and you've proven them right. You can be bought. All they had to do was put a black man in a game. No matter how insane or poorly done or historically inaccurate, you showed that you can be easily bought. Meanwhile, Jay the Concept is trying to tell y'all, don't be a checkbox on an ESG score. Do not be bought off by this pandering ass tokenism. So this is my first jumping off point for what it means for something to be woke. And woke commandment number 1 is this. Quote, your skin color and sexual orientation is the only thing about you that matters. Not your beliefs, not your struggles, not your character development. No, your skin color is the only thing about you that matters. So as Ubisoft sales slide into the trash can and people complain about Assassin's Creed games being formulaic, how are they going to try to generate buzz about their new game? Oh, I know. Let's throw a black samurai in there with some cool hip-hop music. That'll get the kids talking and show everybody that Ubisoft is hip and relevant again. It's honestly cringe. Now you might say, but Assassin's Creed has never been realistic. And I would say, bro, you made it so easy for them to buy you off. But this brings me perfectly to woke commandment number 2. Take a beloved series or character and shoehorn in completely unwanted new characters and political messages that are completely at odds with the original source material. Watch the creative director of the new G.I. Joe toy line do this perfectly.
We are so excited to be kicking off your Saturday of PulseCon Day 2 with our G.I. Joe panel. So my name is Emily. I am the brand manager for G.I. Joe. I use she and her pronouns, and I am so excited to be joined by 3 of my amazing team members. Let's start with Corey. Please introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, guys. I am Corey. I am the 3D sculpting manager. I go by he, him, and I work on G.I. Joe Classified series.
Hi guys, I'm Lenny Panzica. I'm principal designer of the G.I. Joe Classified series, and I go by he, him pronoun.
Hi everybody, I'm Tony, the master model artist on G.I. Joe Classified. He, him.
Like, can all these fat, blue-haired white women just go get jobs doing something else? Does anybody understand why they're so obsessed with the domain in the interest of heterosexual mid? Like, it's weird that this liberal white woman wants to be involved in G.I. Joe shit. Like, that's just weird. What I hear constantly in YouTube comment sections is this: if you want to change a character, go make a new show. But they never do that. They're coming for your show. They want to ruin your show. They want to ruin the characters that you're into. It keeps happening again and again and again, and I wonder how many billions of dollars they're going to lose before they learn to stop hiring these liberal white women. Another great example, the new Star Wars movie Acolyte apparently completely ruins the lore of Star Wars. Gears of War? Yeah, went woke in Gears 4 and 5 because they took a game of manliness and a game about men and made it about motherhood and women. Saints Row, the most offensive, edgy, and wonderful video game series ever made. What should the 2022 reboot be about? Maybe bring back the original characters? Nah, let's kill off every single beloved character from the original game and replace them with a seminar on diversity. Gay black dude, check. Lesbian chick, check. Fat chick, gay Asian man. ESG scores, check, check, check. Now, as I said earlier, what is it that men actually love? What is it that men throughout time have always loved for thousands of years? It's quite simple. Hot women, explosions, war, shooting, cars, flames, edgy humor, jokes, and the list goes on. Have you noticed a serious lack of these things in recent video games? Hot women have been replaced with square-jawed linebackers like this chick in the new Ubisoft Star Wars game. Shooting might still be around, but in the new woke COD game, you're shooting people with bullets wrapped in the trans flag. Edgy humor? Oh, hell no, that's gotta go. We can't have any funny locker room talk anymore, and now every NPC just has to be an annoying robot. And we can't make any funny jokes anymore because somewhere somebody's feelings might get hurt. Basically, guys, it's not that big a deal. They just want to destroy everything that you love in games. But you know what the great thing is? We don't have to play ball. We don't have to buy their games. Don't support them. Anytime you see a game, quote unquote, being inclusive, a red flag should go off in your head. Anytime somebody is called, quote, racist for not wanting to play a game, you should look squarely at the person throwing the accusation because they're probably virtue signaling and lying. I've heard this sentiment expressed a lot recently. Anything normal is alt-right now. If you like women, if you like explosions, if you like normal dude stuff, congratulations, you're alt-right now. Moving on, let's get to woke commandment number 3. History and heritage must be destroyed in the name of woke inclusion. I was thinking the other day about how some of the most celebrated games of the past 10 years are incredibly grounded in their different cultures. Red Dead 2 celebrates the American West in a realistic and historical way. Witcher 3 explores Polish folklore and does justice to those people. Black myth Wukong is about to come out and explores this famous monkey man myth that is a huge character in Chinese folklore. All of the games people love and celebrate often lean into historicity and authenticity because, honestly, guys love that stuff. But I can hear the white liberal women complain, history isn't inclusive. White liberal women are dead set on remaking history in their own image. It's really narcissism when you think about it. We should have known things were going to go this way back in 2018 when Battlefield 5 came out and its historical quote-unquote World War II game, which included having black trans women as main characters during the Battle of the Bulge. When fans pushed back and said this is ridiculous, DICE said, fine then, racists, don't buy our game. And we did it. And oops, just like that, a game failed. Another thing you might have noticed is the incredible double standard the woke crowd always applies to when it comes to race swapping. Ugly women in the place of a hot woman? Check. Black ahistorical guys in place of samurai? Check. White women in World War II battles? Check. White guys leading armies in Wakanda? Record scratch. Wait a second, you can't do that. That's racist. We see the double standard on full display. And yet again, we get back to the core of it. They truly just hate men. And they don't even like black guys. They just view black men as ESG points on their bingo card. They want to use you as a shield against criticism to feel like they are morally superior to those they would deem, quote, normal people. So just to draw this to a close here, this is the best way I can define woke. By these 3 commandments they follow. Number 1, your skin color and sexual orientation is the most important thing about you. Number 2, take a beloved series or character and shoehorn in completely unwanted new characters and political messages. And number 3, history and heritage must be destroyed in the name of woke inclusion. Literally rewriting history so these narcissists can include themselves in it. Do you want to know immediately if a game or movie is woke or not? Just look at the critic score compared to the audience score. If the critic score, like I said, is like 90 and the audience score is 30, you know it's definitely woke because everybody hates it because at the end of the day, nobody wants this trash. All right, guys, I'm out.